Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the Market Radar and an update for the members of Day Trading Radio going into Friday. Kind of a preview what we're looking at for next week. This week will be ending tomorrow. I want to get this video out tonight. So last night I put out a market video, and we discussed the markets in this flag breakout and the good probability of us pushing back up to new highs. And this is a really good probability. Today's action was pretty good. This is a recent 60-minute time frame when we broke out here of this zone. We had that oil news, and then we had a follow-through. Now we had really a 2-day follow-through, and today was kind of a resting period. As you can see, the 60-minute time frame has been embedded up here, and this is excuse me, an interesting scenario because if you look back on the 60, you don't see it embedded up like it was here going back out here a few months. You don't see that type of embedded stochastic. So it's something that is shown up on the charts that we don't normally see, that strong drive here. And today during the markets, during the show, we talked about now the increasing probability and the possibility of the rotation back, which gives us a little pullback. So we're going to be monitoring the 60-minute time frame, and that's going to help us determine how strong this pullback is or how weak the pullback is. And how strong the overall market is. So what we're going to see is if this 60-minute time frame rotates real fast back down here, and relative to that rotation, where does this price end up? Is it back to the 20? Is it a pullback? Or maybe it starts going sideways? Or maybe there's a total divergence and it just continues up and this moves back up. But we're at a point now in the markets where we have to pay attention to that. Now this has been working good. The daily tells me that we're going to actually make a run for those highs. The daily stochastics turned back up. I discussed all this in yesterday's market radar video. So to understand the trend lines and the stochastic divergence back here, and now the rise in trend line and the opportunity of that breakout. Again, I won't review that. You can just look back on yesterday's video. So going forward, we always talk multiple time frames. So we take a look at that 5-minute time frame. There's not much you could read into this. It's been choppy, and it's been a kind of consolidation. It looked like we were starting to give us a 5-minute divergence. It pushed up, and then it slopped, and it just got very sloppy. Considering tomorrow is a Friday, Fridays sometimes can be a more difficult trade. The market has a nice feel to it, and I would expect it to move higher, but we have to wait for that sweet spot. And I talked about this a lot today on the radio with our guest, Tight Stops. And I want to actually try to get that conversation out to you tonight in an MP3 format where you could actually hear our conversation about just trading and how important it is to stick to our strategy, understand that it works, believe that it works. We see it work. So what's the downfall? It's people taking trades outside what the market is giving you. So if the market's giving you a great setup, that's when you take it. If it's not giving you a great setup, don't try to make something happen it's not there. So I call it the sweet spot in the market. A lot of people will talk about over your career in the markets, so you'll make most of your money on a very small amount of the days that you're actually involved in the market. And we could identify those days. That's our specialty, is to know when those days are. Like back here, we really called this turnaround here. We had that divergence, and look at this thing, how far it ran, and we also called this little pullback, this flag, this daily negative divergence. And then we could see a fast rotation, and the formation of flag, and then the 60-minute time frames helped us determine that we were going to get a nice little bounce. And and that's how we do it. Put pieces of the puzzle together daily. So I want to go over some stocks. At that point, we're gonna, you're gonna lose the video unless you're a member. That's a separate video altogether. But if you want to get all the setups, I will. You know what? I've been trying to give you that best bet of the day. If I put out a video, I'll talk about the best bet. We'll talk about Whole Foods here. Whole Foods was today's best bet, and I described it yesterday on the video. This is such a beautiful setup on Whole Foods. I am so excited about it. I don't think it's late. I think it's right on schedule. I don't think you are missing a move yet, so you can still get in on this. And it basically is a lane divergence channel breakout move. But the bigger picture is this long basing pattern that's played out. You had the reversal candle yesterday. You had the oversold multiple time frames yesterday. You had the lower trend line yesterday. So all this right here was your high probability zone. And then from that point on, we've actually put in that daily divergence where we turned back up. Now, normally I've been stressing the importance of setting your divergence qualifying criteria to be a push back above 20 and then to hold that 20 line. That's really just to kind of give you that discipline. Once you become a more experienced trader, you can start to, work your own divergence and stuff. But this is in effect like if I'm saying, wait for that specific setup. It just gives you a higher probability, I believe. And for maybe the beginner traders, this could be a little confusing if we start to chop around down here and you start to measure these out. But this is a very nice looking one. And the keys to this chart is this channel line, the reversal, and the divergence. This is telling me that we have a very high probability of this breaking out through this channel. All my HPS channel trades break out with divergences. I'd say up to 90% of them. And when you're talking stock market, you take 90% any day, every day. And anytime you can find it, and that's what we want to do. So it looks great. It was best bet today for a follow-through and, strength against the market, and it showed that all day long. Do we carry it over for another best bet tomorrow? Well, yesterday, going into today, we had a lot of things in our favor. Now we have a lot of things that are potentially, a little support, a little resistance channel line. We're extended on the hourly, but we're embedded. I do think we're going to move out of here. I think we do move higher from here. But I don't know if I'd put it as a best bet. We might consolidate a little. But it is one of them. I actually believe that we actually could get that follow through. I'm looking for 31 plus tomorrow. All right, here. I just got distracted. A lot of people in the chat room, so I ended up talking to them in the chat room for a second. And we were just talking about Whole Food Mart and how good it's looking. I would consider this maybe one of the best bets of tomorrow. Definitely going forward, looking at a breakout of this channel. That's what I'm keyed up for it. So options are looking good on this. Common stock is looking good, and everything else is looking good. If I had a second best bet, we have some news here on VRX, but that news is that looking at options here. Look, other investment banker, and they're looking at some strategic options. So VRX is kind of gapping up a little, up to around 33. Post market, I like the Apple. Apple seems to be setting up pretty good. We might concentrate on that, but I have a little bit more research to do right now and start that members video. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stocks, 12, 13 stocks to go over. And these are preview stocks for next week's watch list. So it's an early look. So if you remember, you'll continue on with this. If you're not, you're gonna go to DayTraderRadio.com. Get more information.